Hi friends, it's Gwen. I'm going to go ahead and wrap up my reading month of October and share with you some of the books that I have read this month. Now, if you will remember, I did set a goal of 3 books a month, and this month I read 7 books. So not only did I double my goal, but I added one more to the list as well. The first book that I read in October, I read at the very beginning of the month. I'd actually started it at the end of September, I think like a couple of days before October, but then I finished it this month, and that book is Landline by Rowell. Of course, everybody that views my channel often knows that I absolutely love her, and even though it was set in winter, it just, I don't know, it just warmed my heart. So this ended up getting a 5 out of 5 review from me, and of course with all of my Rainbow Rowell books, I absolutely love it, and it's definitely in the top, favorites of mine. I do have a review of this book on Goodreads, and I do have a review of it on my blog. So if you check the links below, you'll see like where else you can find me, and I have my blog listed and I have my Goodreads listed. So you can just go to those and scroll through and find my review for that. Also, along with Landline, the author from Vivian is Dead, Lauren Sable, she has an Instagram contest going on right now. I think it could be like on Twitter too, but I think she is doing it. It's called the Book Skull Instagram contest, so you may or may not be able to do it on Twitter. You'll have to go check her Tumblr site out. So she has the template on her Tumblr, and you print it out and then you decorate it. But she was doing, of course, a book theme, and you could choose any book that you wanted to. I think someone did Shatter Me, someone did The Night Circus, someone did Vivian is Dead, another person did The Fault in Our Stars. I haven't seen any other ones, but I did Rainbow Rowell's Landline, and here is my book skull. I don't know if you can see it very well because of the lighting, but so I basically just did the gray for the gray background, and then I did the yellow phone as well, and then the name. And when I posted it, the first picture on my Instagram, I hadn't made it the 3D look at the top yet, but now I have attempted to glue the tabs back and make it 3D-ish, and then I added a string, so of course I can wear it. But if you check me out on Instagram, there is pictures of the book and the mask that I made. The next book that I read in October was actually, I got it for free from NetGalley, so thank you NetGalley and the author and the publisher for allowing me to read Doomboy by Sandoval. It was a graphic book, and usually when I review books, I have the 5 basic story elements: characters, setting, plot, purpose, and resolution. I have not read any in so very long that I have decided to add 2 more mini ratings to come up with a final rating for the book, and that is art and story. So obviously the art means the artwork, like how well I can identify with it, if I like it, and then of course the story. So I added those to my usual rating system when I was reading this book, and I loved this. The artwork was so amazing. There were times that I was just staring at the screen like, wow, that's so cool. I mean, it was just amazing. So even with the 2 additional mini ratings added, I still ended up with a 5 out of 5 stars. And let me just say, even if I get a title for free from NetGalley or from an author or a publisher or any other way, if I win it in a contest or whatever, I'm always going to give an honest review. And I know that maybe some people feel that they have to give it a higher rating. I'm not one of those people. I feel that honest feedback not only helps the author, helps publishers, helps illustrators, and overall, when I'm giving a rating to you guys, I want it to be an honest rating, and I don't want to recommend a book to you, and then you go out and you purchase it or whatever, and then you're kind of like, it really kind of stunk. So I try to give, even if I get free books, I try to give an honest review so you could feel good about either going to buy a book or not. As I said in my previous video, if you would like me to go more in depth or give a specific book that I mentioned in my wrap-ups a review, please, please, please leave a comment. Say, review that book more in depth. Give me the name of the book or the author or whatever, and I will do my best to get that up as soon as possible. I did do a blog post review on Doomboy, and I also did one on Goodreads. So again, if you check the links down below, I have both my blog and my Goodreads links there, so you can just click on those and search for those reviews. The third book that I read in October is another NetGalley title that I was so gracious to get, and that is Oh Yeah, Audrey by Tucker Shaw. And this one was really cute. I read it in one sitting on a Saturday morning. It is about a girl named Gemma who has a Tumblr account, and she loves Audrey Hepburn, and then she has two friends that end up, working on her Tumblr as well, and I think her mother is dead, and she lives with her father, and she's 16 and she's having difficulty dealing with it. So her and her friends leave their home and meet in New York to have a breakfast at Tiffany's weekend. And it's just kind of coming into her own and having some fun and learning who your true friends are. So it was super cute. I do have a review on Goodreads as well as my blog. And this book got 4 out of 5 stars. Now, here comes the book that I've already talked about, and that is Blacklight by the writers of the Saw franchise, Patrick Melton, Marcus Dunstan, and Stephen Romano. I do already have a little bit more information on this book in my previous video, but if you would like me to go more in depth, I would be happy to. There is a review on Goodreads and my blog about this book already, so you can check those out. I just want to say that this is probably one of the worst books I've read in recent time. I have had books that I just have not finished, and so those are kind of bad too, but this is one that I actually powered through the entire book and still did not like. I gave this 1 star. It was close to getting 2 stars. When I did my rating system, it came to 1.8 stars, but I decided to round down, and that's just my personal opinion. This was going to be my scary October read, but it did not turn out to be very scary, so it was quite disappointing. So that was the third book that I read. Or the fourth book that I read, sorry. The fifth book that I read, again, I was reaching out for a scary October book, and I knew it wasn't going to be like terrifying or anything, but I picked up a book that I bought at a library book sale. It still has the, the coating on it from the library, but that is The Gates by Connolly. And it was really cute and it was really funny. One thing that I wanted to point out about it is that as you're reading, it has these little end notes, and they're like super funny. So make sure that as you're reading through this book, you make sure you read those as well, because those are like super funny, and they also add some really good information as well. I do have a review of this on Goodreads. I have not done a review of this on my blog yet, sorry. But this was an average book for me. I'm rating this 3 out of 5 stars. It just wasn't exactly where it needed to be for me. There were a couple of things lacking, and you can check out my Goodreads to find out what those things were. The sixth book that I read this month was, and I was kind of glad that I read it, because October, I don't know if you knew or not, is anti-bullying month. And this book kind of fit with that theme. So the sixth book that I read is Every Ugly Word by Aimee L. Salter. And this is another title that I got on NetGalley. I was trying to catch up because I've been requesting these books, and I had like 20 books or something like that, or almost 20 books, like outstanding to read. And I try, you know, if I'm going to get a book for free, I really want to give the author some feedback and, you know, so I can get more titles as well. So I know I have a lot of NetGalley reviews, but they're books that I have read on my iPad, which is what I'm filming on, so I can't really show you that. But I also got this one from NetGalley, Every Ugly Word by Aimee L. Salter. There is a review on Goodreads, and there is a review on my blog for this book. It was about a girl who was bullied at school a lot, and she saw in the mirror her older self, and everybody thought she was crazy, so she really didn't tell anybody about it. But then as things were happening in her life, the older person in the mirror was telling her, don't do that, or, you know, try this or try that. And the spin on the story, it took me about halfway through to figure out like what was actually going on. But once I did it, it didn't spoil it at all. It was a super good book. I rated it 4 stars as well. The 7th book that I read in October, which I'm super excited about, I just finished it yesterday, was A Girl Called Malice by Aurelia B. Rowell. And this is a title that I did get for free from NetGalley and the publisher Carina UK. And I'm so excited about this book, you guys. It was, I don't even know, like I still can't put it into words. I did write a very sloppy review on Goodreads, and I couldn't get words out then, and I still can't. I don't know why I really like am latching onto this book so hard, but needless to say, it got 5 out of 5 stars, you guys. It was, I don't know, it was just amazing. It's about a girl named Alice who has kind of 2 sides of her personality. She lives with her sister and her sister's husband and her nephew, and in this like basically like mansion. And as Alice, she has like green eyes, and she's kind of, I don't know, she's just kind of quiet and homey and normal. I don't know. But as Malice, she's kind of a badass, and she dresses like a slut, and she sleeps around with guys, like several in one night, and she ends up stripping at this club, and she, you know, she's pretty much the very opposite of Alice, Malice. And she ends up, you know, taking her nephew to the park one day as Alice, and he's like, oh yeah, you're gonna climb that tree for me. And she was like, oh my goodness. Okay, so she climbs up the tree. She ends up getting stuck. This guy comes along, Zach, and he basically rescues her out of this tree. And then he sees how messed up her hands are and everything like that. So he ends up going back to her house and like helping her, you know, clean herself up. And they actually become really good friends. And not the friends with benefits, but actual friends. Like on birthdays, you know, they do whatever. Even on Valentine's Day, they end up hanging out. Nothing happens for like, you know, like a year. But then as the story progresses, you know, he obviously starts having feelings for her, and he's like, hey, I love you. And she's like, what? I don't think so. We're just supposed to be friends. So because of, you know, her other side, what she ends up finding out about, he understands, like, you know, maybe this isn't gonna work. And I don't want to spoil it, but the ending, it's really a good book. I won't say how the ending really turned out, but I loved it. A lot of people should read this book. But like I said, I have the review on Goodreads. I plan on doing a blog post about it. Like I said, I just finished reading it yesterday, so I really haven't had time to write one on my blog yet, and plus I'm trying to form words to talk about this book. But I did also post a review on Amazon.com about this book, and my favorite thing ever that happened with this book was after I posted my feedback on NetGalley and then on Goodreads, the author, Aurelia, liked my review. And then, that's not all. She tweeted me and said, "Oh my gosh, such an amazing review," and all that. And I was like, oh my god, fangirl. And I was so shocked that that's the first time that's ever happened to me. So if that's happened to you before, yay you. But oh my gosh, that was the first time an author has actually contacted me and said, "Hey, thanks for reviewing," you know, and giving me a little bit of a shout out. So I'm gonna put it like down here somewhere so you can actually read it. It's real. I was like so excited, like, oh my gosh. And I really just wanted to thank her for, you know, reading my review and seeing what I thought of her title. And I really had no idea she was gonna do it. Like I said before, I do not rate books according to whether I got it for free, whether I bought it myself, or anything like that. I give honest reviews. Sometimes they're not as well formed. I try to do probably my best review on my blog, and obviously I'm going to try to do a really good job here on my videos to do really in-depth, well thought out reviews if you're looking for one. So if you would like a better review about any of the books that I have mentioned, including A Girl Called Malice, please let me know in the comments down below, and I will film an additional video talking about any of the titles that you would like to hear about more in depth. Again, you don't have to do that because most of these are reviewed on Goodreads or my blog, and one of them I've kind of already talked about a little bit more, and some of them I've talked about enough in here to give you an idea if you'd like them. So for the 7 books that I read, I really do think I had a great reading month. I had the very highest of highs and I had the very lowest of lows. I hope you had a great reading month. I hope you have great plans for Halloween tomorrow, and I'll see you next time. Bye! Fangirl moment coming up. Hold on. I'm gonna get it. Aurelia. Ariel? Okay. Ariel. Ariel. No, wait. Ariana or Ariel. 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 Roll. Okay, here we go. If I could pronounce it right, is Aurelia? No. Aurelia? Aurelia?